Russia just lost one of its most advanced fighter jets, and the story everyone believed was wrong. At 7:04 a.m. on June 7, 2025, a sudden flash lit up the sky over Russia's Kursk region. Seconds later, a burning aircraft tore through the clouds. It was a Russian Su-35, one of the most advanced fighters in Moscow's arsenal, plummeting from altitude, trailing smoke and fire before it slammed into the ground. The loss was immediate, and the reaction was explosive. Within minutes, Ukrainian social media channels erupted with bold claims of a historic first. Posts went viral, celebrating what many believed was a turning point in the air war. The headline was irresistible. A Ukrainian F-16 just shot down Russia's top operational fighter. Major news outlets rushed to publish the dramatic story. Military commentators seized on the incident as proof that Western fighter donations had finally changed the balance of power. Some reports went even further. They claimed a Ukrainian F-16 had fired an AIM-120 AMRAAM missile, guided by a Swedish airborne early warning aircraft orbiting hundreds of kilometers away, a perfect example of modern NATO-style networked warfare. The narrative was clean. A Western jet, a Russian loss, a symbolic victory. But war is rarely so simple. As the hours passed, doubts began to surface. The Ukrainian Air Force issued a carefully worded statement. They confirmed the Su-35 had been destroyed in the Kursk direction during a successful operation, but they avoided claiming an air-to-air kill. There was no mention of F-16s. That omission was not accidental, because if a Ukrainian F-16 hadn't pulled the trigger, then what exactly happened that morning? To understand the answer, we have to rewind the clock to 6:45 a.m. to an airbase in western Russia, where a Su-35 pilot was preparing for what he believed was a routine mission. And that is where the real story begins. Multiple sources later confirmed something critical. Ukrainian F-16s were never linked to NATO's advanced Link 16 network. At the request of the United States, that system had been removed to prevent sensitive technology from falling into Russian hands if a jet was shot down. Without Link 16, real-time coordination was impossible. Target data would have to be passed by voice radio. And in supersonic air combat, even a few seconds of delay means several kilometers of error. So a clean, instantaneous handoff from a Swedish surveillance aircraft to a Ukrainian F-16 was never realistic. Ukraine had only been operating these Western early warning systems for 2 months, while under constant attack. After decades of flying Soviet aircraft, even experienced NATO air forces take years to perfect this kind of complex coordination. So if it wasn't an F-16, then what really happened? At 7:13 a.m., the Su-35 pilot's cockpit suddenly filled with alarms. His L-150 pastel radar warning receiver screamed a clear, urgent message. He had been locked. Instinct took over. The pilot threw the jet into a violent 7G barrel roll. The powerful Kibini electronic warfare system activated, flooding the air with false signals. Chaff burst outward, spreading radar reflective clouds at 27,000 feet. For a moment, it seemed to work. The lock appeared to be broken. But then, the tone changed. A sharper, more piercing alarm cut through the chaos of the cockpit. This wasn't a radar lock anymore. A missile was already in the air, and it was closing fast. Thanks for watching. If you want to find out what happened next, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. The pilot slammed his jet into a hard split-S maneuver, a desperate attempt to outrun the inevitable. Flares bloomed from the aircraft, burning hotter than his own engines. But it was all for show. It didn't matter. This wasn't some older missile that needed a constant lock. This one had its own active radar seeker. It was already thinking for itself. There was nothing left to jam. With no options left, the pilot reached for the ejection handles. Explosive bolts fired. The canopy tore away into the slipstream. His K-36DM ejection seat rocketed him into the sky just as the missile detonated. In a blinding flash, the Su-35 simply vanished, its fragments scattering across the morning sky like confetti. What just destroyed one of Russia's most advanced fighters? Almost certainly, it was an American-made MIM-104 Patriot missile, launched from a battery hidden deep inside Ukraine. Now, the Patriot isn't just a missile. It's a highly sophisticated, integrated air defense system. It's capable of striking aircraft from 160 kilometers away, at altitude soaring above 72,000 feet. The latest PAC-3 variant is particularly lethal. In the final seconds of its attack run, it switches to its own internal seeker. Once that happens, the target is effectively unjammable. Against a weapon screaming in at over Mach 5, the Su-35's legendary maneuverability meant absolutely nothing. This wasn't the first warning sign. Patriots had already claimed Russian aircraft before, each time shocking pilots who believed they were safely operating within their own airspace. They were fatally wrong. And suddenly, Ukraine's calculated silence on the matter made perfect sense. By confirming the kill but keeping the method a secret, they maintained crucial operational security. This allowed rumors of F-16s to spread like wildfire, a brilliant piece of psychological warfare that masked the true threat. But the reality was far more terrifying for Russian pilots. Ukraine had engineered a deadly new battlefield, a system where the sensor that sees you is not the weapon that kills you. A pilot might never even see the launch. They might be flying a routine patrol, feeling secure, when their warning system suddenly screams to life. But by then, it's already over. The outcome has been decided. This loss of the Su-35 wasn't just another tactical victory for Ukraine. It was a statement. It was definitive proof that Russia no longer controls the skies, not even over what it considers its own territory. This event shattered the illusion of Russian air superiority and changed the calculus of the entire air war. Now, every time a Russian pilot climbs into their cockpit for what used to be a routine patrol, a chilling question will hang in the air. A question they can't possibly answer. Who is watching me right now, and from how far away? Because the terrifying truth is, by the time they find out, the missile will already be on its way. This new reality has turned every sortie into a gamble, where the house always has an ace up its sleeve, hidden just over the horizon. The rules of engagement have been rewritten, and the sky is no longer a safe haven. It's a hunting ground. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video.